what's up? This is Lance of BH Capital Enterprises, and I want to welcome you all to day 17 of my 30-day chart challenge, where for the month of July, every single day, I am breaking down a ticker and putting it out on my channel with some hypotheses about what I think may happen in the near to distant future. What I do in my business, BH Capital Enterprises, is I teach people how to navigate the markets using price action, mainly price action on charts. Um, Tesla is one that I used to follow on a regular basis. It used to be on my watch list, but I kind of gave it the boot when I had to trim my watch list back down to under like five or under like six or seven. And so I decided to do Tesla tonight, just to see how things are going with Tesla. It's been a little while since I've looked at it. But let's just dive right on in. This is Tesla's yearly chart. You can see, last year was just insane for Tesla. I mean, the price moved from below 100 to over 700. So that's just just insane. But what I'm seeing is so far that the price action tends to struggle for sure above last year's closing price. Um, as I usually do, I'm going to mark last year's closing price, which was 705.67. Going to label it appropriately. 2020 close. There we go. All right, so 20. Well, gotta change this. 67. There we go. All right, so um, as you can see, when Tesla gets over 700, it really tends to struggle, and that's something that I've just noticed this year. Let me say disclaimer: this is not any kind of investment advice. I don't hold any positions in Tesla at this time, at the time of this recording. So um, I I just do this because it's fun, and it's good practice for me as well. So if you guys would like for me to check out any tickers, leave them in the comment section. I'm happy to do that for you. But anyway, let's get back to this yearly chart. So yeah, not a whole lot to see here on the yearly chart, aside from the fact that we had a lot of momentum during the year 2020, and that really propelled Tesla to new highs, like significantly new highs. And remember that Tesla did split its shares last year. I don't remember when, but yeah. Um, let's just go ahead and move on to the monthly chart and see what additional information we can gather. So, monthly chart, and let me take these studies off, make sure it's clear. All right, so monthly chart, we have phase one of the market cycle here, transition into phase two, very strong transition here during 2020. And this year so far, like I said, as you can see, when that price starts getting up toward 700, it really has a hard time. Um, looks like it has started to consolidate some. So I'd be watching these pretty much between 2020 close and low 600s, maybe even down to mid 500s. But really, when it hits that mid 500s, it tends to rebound pretty strongly. And that just comes from me, checking Tesla, historically here and there. But even on this monthly chart, you can see that every single time Tesla hits that 550 area, it tends to have a nice rebound upward. Not sure if that's where it's headed now, but what I am seeing here over the past 3 months is higher lows. So, the question is Tesla, is sentiment starting to shift on Tesla in terms of, what's been going on lately? And the markets have just, I mean, Tesla hasn't really, it's been very range bound here lately. So, what I'd be watching is this trend line here over the next few months, and seeing if this upward pressure continues and eventually forces a breakout above 2020's close, which is low 700s. So, I would say, in my opinion, by no later than October, we should see something, whether the price, just kind of continues to consolidate. Maybe it stays in this range bound area, or whether we get a breakout or even a breakdown. You can't rule out any of those options. But for the most part, here on the monthly chart, I'd be watching this trend line here, watching to see if the price continues to print higher lows, but watch to see if it starts to print higher highs. But so far, that's not happening. But as far as that range bound, the majority of that range bound price action, I would watch about between 705 and 616. So low 700s and low 600s is where I would pretty much be watching Tesla. That's pretty much where the majority of the price action has been for the year 2021, as you can see. So as long as the price remains inside of that range, in my opinion, sentiment isn't changing. Um, let me I'm just gonna do that color orange. Okay. All right. So that's a downside consolidation zone. So just watching between these two areas on the monthly chart. That is. Um, Not necessarily seeing a bull flag type situation. Maybe a bull pennant, maybe. Let me see. But maybe a bull pennant. But if that's the case, then at some point in August, September, we should see either a breakout or a breakdown of this potential pattern. And as I always say, don't count out the possibility of the price just continuing to consolidate. Obviously, it's in a consolidation phase of the market cycle. So, generally, the longer that it consolidates, the stronger that breakout or breakdown move is. So, Tesla could go either way. You know, you just want to watch key levels for basically confirmation of whether the price would be likely heading up or heading down, or whether it's going to stay within the identified range. um, if this is a bull pennant on the monthly chart, then Tesla will have some serious juice breaking out of this thing. So maybe you know like I said, August September time frame, on the monthly chart, we may be seeing some movement on here. So let me just put that in a text note. so I'm going to move this inside here. I'm gonna keep that red, make it bold. I just want to make it a little bigger. We'll go with that. Yeah. All right. Um, let's see. I mean, if Tesla, if Tesla, uh, if this is a bull pennant flag, I'm gonna just go ahead and mark these levels, just in case. You know what I'm saying? Just so they'll be there as a potential hypothesis. But let's see. Let me mark one of my first levels first. Uh, let's see. Give me a second. Okay, so we'll. Oh, gotta change my drawing tool. Price level. So one of my first price levels that I would be looking at, as far as if this is a bull pennant flag and that breakout, would be around 1160. All right, so we're gonna make that orange. We're gonna keep it solid, and we're gonna say. All right, bull flag, bull pennant, target 1 monthly. So that's just a reminder to me that this is based on the monthly chart, so that I can keep that proper perspective. All right, so that's the first target. Target two would be around 1450. So we're gonna just do that. And these are estimates, of course. Same color. All right, so we're gonna make that target two. All right, there we go. Okay, so we got that. Uh, we got that settled. Um, however, if if this low 600 zone breaks, the first area that I would be looking for is this mid 550s area. And I'm gonna just draw a price level there. I didn't mean to click that. So potential breakdown target number one. Target number two would be down here just below 500. And now keep in mind, this is the monthly chart. But Tesla does have the type of volatility where this can happen within a short period of time, but just, keeping it in proper perspective, this is based on the monthly chart. So, other one. Okay, let's edit this one, and we're gonna do monthly. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much it when it comes to the monthly chart. And if by some chance this breakdown target 2 level breaks, then maybe the price moves down inside this 100-point range between the high threes and the high fours. So um, I just don't want to mark up my chart a whole lot, but just keep that in mind. Um, Pretty much as long, like I said, as long as Tesla stays in between these two trend lines, sentiment remains the same. But short term, I'd be looking for a move between these two trend lines, whether it breaks down or breaks out or even consolidates. Just be looking for either of those situations happening over the next maybe 2.5 months or so. So by the end of September, in my opinion, before the end of September, we should see some sort of resolution here in this area. So let's check out the weekly chart and see how the weekly chart is looking. Okay, so on the weekly chart, you can see it a whole lot better. You know what I'm saying? You can see where the price tends to, and I can just move this in a little bit, but you can see where the price tends to hit that upper trend line and fade. And you can see where the price is being supported by this lower trend line here. So just definitely something to keep an eye on. And this one, according to the weekly chart, maybe we see some sort of resolution before September, according to how this is looking on the weekly chart. But not necessarily seeing much difference on the weekly chart with when compared with the monthly chart. So I'm not necessarily going to make any changes here. But remember that I said that, if this level breaks, then there's a good chance that the price will just kind of consolidate in this area. And you can see historically it does consolidate when it gets between that like 380s up to close to 500. So lots of consolidation there historically. Uh, but that's not necessarily a level that I'd be concerned with right now, short term, especially since the price is almost double that at this time. But what you're seeing is a series of lower highs so far. We got all-time highs up toward this area. Then this area hit some short-term highs again, but lower than the previous, and so on and so forth. So that could continue, but right now we're seeing some sentiment maybe changing short term as the price may be finding some support at this trend line here. So just look to see if that continues. Yeah, look to see if that continues. The targets are pretty much still the same in my opinion when it comes to um, the potential bull pennant targets that I provided. But let me do some quick math again just to make sure. Roughly the same. Roughly the same. This one's giving me 1122. Um, I don't even know if I remember exactly where I put my levels. Let's go here. Let's see if we can get it here. No, we can't. I'll have to probably, let's see, price axis, expansion. Let's see if we can get a 10% expansion upward. No, let's do 20. Okay, there we go. Okay, so about 1160. Um, but I'm gonna go ahead and mark on the weekly chart, based on the weekly chart, that we've got some potential target slightly lower than that, so okay. Okay. Let's do a different color since it's the weekly chart, just so there's a clear difference. 22, roughly. Okay, there we go. Alright, so there's that. And we'll just leave it there for now, for sure. Just leave it there. But in my opinion, a break of this trend line, price is likely going back to that. Um, well, first it's got to break this 750s area. Uh, if it breaks there, then the price is headed to high 700s, low 800s area. If it beats that, it's going back to the all-time high. And once it beats that all-time high, it's definitely, well, I won't say definitely, there's a stronger chance that it heads for that first bull pennant target on the weekly chart, which is around 1122. So just a few levels to be watching for on Tesla. I gave you guys some potential downside targets as well to be on the lookout for in case the price goes the other way. And I also gave that consolidation range where, sentiment pretty much, in my opinion, remains unchanged. Um, and so keep an eye on that thing as well. What I like to do when I'm looking at charts is I try to, and I teach this in my workshop as well, is to eliminate bias as much as I possibly can. Um, that way I can be best prepared for anything. You know what I'm saying? So if I come into the market session with a plan for the bullish side, a plan for the bear side, and also a plan in case the price just is just flat all day, then I have a better chance of success. And it also helps me mentally because I'm not having things that I just completely didn't expect thrown at me unexpectedly. So um, yeah, this is the daily chart here. Let's see if I can figure out a potential target on the daily chart. Maybe just slightly lower than that 1122, but we'll see just how low. Let's see. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna go with 1084-ish on this daily chart. So bullpen target daily. We're actually gonna just make that dotted, and maybe I'll do this one like a bluish color. 1084. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much, well, let me see where it is in terms of the moving averages, the 50 and the 200. So as you can see, the price on Friday's session, so yesterday's session, closed right near that 200-day moving average. Let me change my drawing tool. Closed right near that 200-day moving average, and the 50 just crossed below the 200 a few days ago. So what I'll be watching is to see if these moving averages hold. And notice that the moving averages are pretty much lining right up with this lower trend line. So be looking to see if this holds. If it does, we should get a nice decent bounce back up to the high 600s at least. Um, and if not, then we're looking for that low 16 or low 600s area and seeing if that breaks. Um, yeah, I mean there's nothing else really that I can say with Tesla at this time that I haven't already said. So yeah, let me make sure. Um, yeah, I mean that's it. So I'll be just watching to see how this thing plays out over the next several weeks. Definitely from now until September, just to see which hypothesis plays out, which one I can rule out, and things of that nature. But if you guys would like for me to check out any other tickers, feel free to let me know, and it's no sweat at all. Happy to do that for you. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Market Markup.